So Puah is a more, I think, more of a sort of a professional organization, not people who have necessarily been through it. This is my experience, this is what you may be experiencing, although we have that as well. But it's more of a sort of a referral service, be able to give you a much wider range. And it has, I think, the international flavor. And that is incredibly important because there are couples. I have a couple now that I'm dealing with who live in America, the treatment in America is very expensive. And it's cheaper sometimes in other countries. So, for example, in Israel, it's cheaper than it is in America. So we have couples that travel from America to Israel to do treatment. That international connection is very, very important. In fact, the opposite also works. So there are experts. For example, there's a particular treatment that was started in a specific hospital here. There's a treatment for male fertility that was started in Cornell by a doctor called Professor Peter Schlegel. I have a very good relationship with him. So the couples that come to me in Israel, they want a consultation with him. So I can do that by email, that it costs them nothing. Whereas if that couple wanted to get a consultation, they had to fly to America, pay $1,000 to sit with him for half an hour. I can get that in an email. So that international flavor really is, the relationship we have is amazing. So I get now calls from London who say, wait, what's being done in America? They want, so Gideon Weitzman now knows. So they're calling me from London, what's being done in America for this and this thing. So that there's sort of now a sense that we have this international network, which is the whole point is to help couples, not just that that's very cool and we can use email, but the idea that we can really help couples, really, because there are things that are being done in different places. So if you're an older couple, right, and Dr. Klein will, I think, agree with this, there are certain things in America they'll say to you, you're a certain age, we don't deal with you. You have to go on to, let's say, to egg donation for a woman. Whereas I might say to that couple, you know what, that's what's being done in America, but in Israel, a woman that age will probably still be doing IVF. And again, and vice versa. So I think that is a very, very important element of Puah's broad appeal and ability to help.
Yeah. I would just add one thing, which is that, I mean, I work with all three organizations, and they all are great, and they all sort of do their own things great. But for me, as like a relatively modern Orthodox guy, so none of them are discriminatory whatsoever, and Boni Olam, which is primarily a Tzedakah organization, doesn't discriminate on the basis of hashkafa. But there's no question that Boni Olam is primarily a Hasidic organization based out of Borough Park mostly, and A-Time is based out of Borough Park in Williamsburg mostly. And again, I'm friendly with them, and they're great. But from a hashkafic standpoint, someone who's sort of more in the modern Orthodox type stream, I think Puah is an organization that sort of just would be a little bit more of a comfort level potentially.
I think that we out supervision, this time on the supervision level, and Dr. Klein alluded to it, but I think it's very important that our supervision, you can see the supervisors around, they're here. I mean, you can see they're obviously of a certain ilk, and that was chosen specifically in order there shouldn't be a question that, oh, this supervision isn't kosher enough. And that there won't be a question that in 20 years' time they'll come and say, this kid, when he comes to get married, you say, wait, is he a Belzer child? Is he like, where's your kashrut?
Glad.
And you Hasidic shchita. So that was it's very important for us. So there was another question here, yeah.
How long after trying would you say to, let's say, like a new couple, should they go seek help from a doctor?
Yeah, so it's a good question. The traditional answer is a year of trying, and that's based in some medical science, with the idea being that if everything is perfect, there should be about an 85 to 90% chance after a year of trying that a couple will be pregnant. But the caveats to that, I think, are two important ones. One is female age, as I mentioned earlier. So women who are older than their mid-30s, there's no reason to try for a full year before getting at least an evaluation, because the chance that they're going to need some help starts to go up. And a woman who's 40 or over, there's no reason to delay very much at all. So we kind of usually use 6 months of trying for a 35-year-old, and basically as soon as you're ready for a 40-year-old, that's number one. Female age is a major, major factor, both because, again, there's a higher chance they'll need help, and also you don't want to waste time the older you are. Number two, and perhaps more importantly, is for women, and I see this all the time, for women who have a known issue, the most common would be like irregular menstrual cycles, but other issues. So if a woman has something called endometriosis, a history of very painful periods, or some other issue like they know that their uterus was shaped abnormally. Usually you wouldn't know that necessarily until you find it out, but if there's a known issue, then there's no reason to, again, sort of, and unfortunately, a lot of, I mean, OBGYNs are some of our best friends also in general, but a lot of OBGYNs will say, if you go to your general OBGYN or general doctor, you know, well, you just got married, try for a year. But if you have a period twice a year, I mean, it's crazy to say wait a year, and then, I mean, you can, but there's no reason to just sort of check the box, I tried for a year, now I can go seek an evaluation. So that's my sort of general guidelines.
Yeah, I would agree.